Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. I don't know about where you are, but it's raining here, so on the Gold Coast. So that's all good. We need the water, don't we? So I want to start this morning off with this MindFit morning with a quote that I created a little while ago, and that's consistency equals success. And it equals success because it leads to discipline. So consistency equals success because it leads to discipline. Now, a consistent person is persistent and disciplined enough to work hard towards their goals, even when they don't feel like it. And we all have days where we don't feel like it, don't we? They don't let their emotions or any outside circumstances control their actions, and they stay that course no matter what. So when you contrast that to what an inconsistent person looks like, and that's because they lack discipline and they're easily swayed by their emotions or outside circumstances. And I have a couple of clients, the minute something goes wrong in their environment, their whole day is ruined, and they allow the environment to drive their mood. So they're less likely to stick to their goals, and more likely, obviously, to give up when that going gets tough. And that a lot has to do with the why you're doing what you're doing as well. But that I've done in another video, and I will be doing some more on that again. But so for this point then, if you want to be successful at anything you do, you have to be and you need to be consistent. You need to persist even when you don't feel like it. You need to discipline yourself to stay the course, not least because when you're consistent, you're actually sending a message to the universe that, yep, serious about this goal, and you're not going to give up no matter what. So bring it on. The universe then will respond by giving you all the opportunities and resources you need to achieve your goals. And that comes in like serendipity. Have you ever happened that? Serendipity happens all around you when you're really focused on where you're going, because you're putting the right vibration out. So welcome to MindFit Mornings. I'm Pamela Milliken-Hartnell, and joining you every Tuesday and Friday and sharing with you tools and strategies so you can live your life by your own design rather than by default. And if you've just joined us, today's topic is centered around the solutions to the problem of the need to have consistency for success. And on Tuesday, I shared 10 hurdles that I've discovered throughout my 30 plus years of coaching that lead to inconsistency and lack of success. And I'm going to follow that format that I had on Tuesday so that you can run two videos by the side and you can make notes if you want to. So the first one that we talked about then was lack of clarity. And when you're not clear about what you want, it's hard to stay focused. Without having a clear goal, it's easy to get sidetracked or give up altogether. So a method I have my clients do when they don't know what they're doing is a thing called clarity through contrast. And I get them to get a piece of paper and put a line down the middle, and you put what you don't want on one side and you fill that out first. And then you look at what you don't want and you write the opposite of what you do want on that side. So if I don't want to work 7 days a week, well, what do I want? I want to work 2 days a week. I don't want to work inside. What do I want? I want to work outside. And that way, through contrast, you can get a bit more clarity. So then the second one that we talked about Tuesday, was lack of discipline. And obviously discipline, as I've said already, is key to consistency, because without it, we can fall into bad habits or make excuses for why you can't stick to your plan, right? So have a plan. No matter how loose that plan is, have some sort of plan and stick to it no matter what. And make sure it's set out in a step-by-step process on what you need to do to reach your goal, and have that goal constantly moving towards your goals and allow for distractions, obviously, too. So having a clear goal in mind will keep you motivated, of course, to stay on track. And the third one is distractions. So it's easy, as I've already said before, to get caught up with social media like texting, emails, TikTok, guilty as charged, and other distractions that can pull you away from your goals. So having a clear plan, like I just said, that manages your time effectively, but it also prioritizes what's important to you. And that'll help you avoid procrastination and make consistent, constant progress, even if that progress is tiny. It doesn't matter as long as you're going forward. And another thing you can obviously do there is set an accountability partner. Tell someone about your goals and have them check in on you regularly. And that will be, when you're accountable to somebody else, you're more likely to do it too. So allow for setbacks, by the way. That's right, but I'll talk about that a bit later on. So the fourth hurdle is time constraints then. Life getting in the way can be a big hurdle because it can be difficult to find the time to do what's needed when there are so many other things demanding your attention. But if you don't make time for those things that are important to you, they'll never get done. And I have to put on my schedule when I'm going to go to the driving range and play golf, because I'll never go otherwise. But it's a new passion of mine and I absolutely love it. So the first thing then is to manage your time and your priorities by making a list of the things that are important to you. And I call some of my first things in the morning my non-negotiables. These have got to get done because they're for me, not for anybody else, they're for me. And you have to have that in your life. Otherwise, you can get resentful and disappointed and jaded because all you're doing is working and doing things for other people. So make a list of non-negotiables that are just for you, and then order them, and obviously in a degree of importance, and schedule time for them. Okay, because it's important to make time for yourself. For whether it's well-being, self-care, or just going out and having some fun, something that is just for you. All right, something that's not for other people. So for time constraints, then set some realistic goals, and don't do too much all at once. Set some more achievable goals and have a deadline, because if you don't have a deadline, you'll keep putting things off. And actually give yourself a date to work towards and stick to it. So take it one day at a time, like planning for a holiday. You start doing things when you know you're going on holiday. And just focus on what you can do today when you're working towards that goal. Don't worry about tomorrow. You'll get there eventually, just as long as you keep taking small steps. Now, the fifth step was setbacks. They're inevitable, all right? And they happen all the time. It's how you deal with those setbacks that's important. And it's important just to remember that they're just temporary, okay? And some of the tips I share with my clients for staying consistent with setbacks is to acknowledge the setback first and move on. It's like, okay, well, that didn't work, but focus on the solution, okay? Move on, focus, what's the solution, all right? And then don't dwell on the past. Let's focus on the present and the future. And stay positive, and keep your eye on the goal. And also find a support system. I think I've said that to you earlier, to help you through these times. And then lastly, obviously be patient, because remember, progress takes time. And if you can keep those things in mind, you'll be more likely to stay on track and achieve your goals. My mentor and my Core 100 coach, Tony Robbins, says that one of the most important things in life is consistency. And that people who are consistent are more likely to be successful than those who are not. Yeah, that was a lot of S's, wasn't it? Don't have that one. Don't say that one. I've had a drink. Okay, so the sixth hurdle then to consistency and success, oh my God, is lack of flexibility when things don't pan out. And life is unpredictable at best and can change just like that. And if you're not flexible, it can be difficult to maintain that consistency. So there's no right one solution here to being flexible and adaptable, because it depends on who you are, where you've come from, and what you're doing with your life. But if you can be adaptable, you'll be better able to deal with those unexpected changes, especially if you can be open to new ideas and new ways of doing things, and then be willing to adjust your plans as needed. Now, a lot of that has to do with a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset, and I will do a whole series on that as well. So, but for now, just know that if you can be adaptable, it'll help you stay on track, no matter what life throws your way. But be willing to take people's other views and thoughts into consideration as well. Okay, so I think the other thing was getting in the way of making things difficult was limitations. So there may be some things that you can't control, and they may be either physical or mental. But one of the best ways to overcome physical limitations is to find an activity that you can consistently do that works around your limitations. So for example, if you have a bad back, swimming might be a good option. And so you can still do your exercise because it's a low impact and it won't put too much strain on your back. And so find a way to work around your limitation by doing something that works in well with it. As for mental limitations, the best way to overcome them is to start really small and to build up your confidence as you go. Now, I get my clients to draw rings like a dartboard, and they're in the middle, and each inside the loop is step outside the comfort zone, step outside the comfort zone, step outside the comfort zone. All right, so that's how I get them to gently, not try to go from here to the outside of the dartboard, have minimal steps in between. Interim steps, that's the word I was looking for. Cool. And that'll help you see things through step by step. All right, so the eighth hurdle then that can sabotage your consistency is boredom, fatigue, and frustration, because they are all the enemies of productivity. Now, I made a quote on that on Tuesday too, right? Boredom, fatigue, and frustration, enemies of productivity. But there are a few things that you can actually do and to help you stay productive when that boredom, fatigue, and frustration strikes. First, try and take a break before you become too overwhelmed by your distractions. Get up and go for a walk, eat a snack, or just take a few deep breaths. Once you give yourself a chance to reset, you can come back to work with fresh eyes. So if that doesn't do the trick, try changing your environment. For me, I go outside and walk up and go up the street and get a coffee. But if you're stuck at your desk, go for a walk. All right. They say you're supposed to get up and down every 20 minutes. Personally, I don't do that, but there's a whole thing that says that's actually a really good thing and really productive. But I'm not going to say I do that because I don't, but I do every now and then get up and go for a walk, get my coffee. But if you're struggling with a particular class, try switching to something else that's more manageable and come back to it too. So you can break your day up like that, and which can help you keep boredom and stuff, because I get bored very, very easily. Cool. All right. So 9, excuses then. So excuses are the backbone of not getting things done. And in order to combat that, you need to understand why you're making excuses and how to fix them. And there are 2 types of excuses. Ones that are legitimate, like I can't go to the gym today because I'm injured. And there's illegitimate ones. So I'm not going to that meeting because I can't be bothered, or I have a prior engagement, or I can't be bothered to go. I didn't go to the gym today because I was too lazy. It's an illegitimate excuse, all right? It's not legitimate. So find out what excuses you're making. Are they legitimate and real, or are they not legitimate, all right? And if you are making lots of not legitimate excuses, write those down. What do I constantly say? Who do I constantly show up as? And work out why you're doing that. So do you not really want to do what you're supposed to be doing at all, right? So what is it you're trying to avoid by making those excuses? Is it something you're afraid of, or something you don't want to face? So, because that's another way actually just to protect ourselves when we make an excuse. So, okay, so the last thing then is lack of support. Having support networks is essential for consistency, because it can provide the encouragement you need to stay on track when you get to that point and you hit a wall. So they can provide encouragement and motivation. So they're the top 10 tips. Because let me just say, actually, a supportive network can also provide resources and advice. So if you're struggling to find information, you can bounce ideas off someone. So if you want to be successful at anything, a supportive network is absolutely essential. So that's it. I want to wrap up with all obstacles can be overcome with time, effort, and commitment. Okay. And consistency is the main key to achieving your goals. So if you're struggling with consistency, make sure that you follow the tips that I've shared above. You can also read my book, Making Broken Beautiful, for more strategies, tools, and techniques on how to turn your challenges into your greatest source of motivation. And that's available on Amazon. So that's it for me today. Remember to also constantly work on your personal growth and leveling up, because you never know what you're capable of until you test yourself. So get MindFit and go after what you really want in life. And see you on Tuesday. Thank you for being here. Be sure to join my online community, and I would love you to share these videos with people you think might benefit, because everyone at some point will need some help for something, and you never know what a difference it might make in their lives. Because my greatest wish for you is for you to be MindFit, so you can live your best life and live it with passion. Reset, be authentic, and be you. Cool. And I think we have some Mark Sullivan. Thank you for joining us for YouTube. My excuse is I'm bored. We know. So work out why you're bored and what you can do to be unbored, Mark Sullivan. Boredom is a killer. Yeah, it really is. I like the emoji. Cool. Okay, that's all for me today. I will see you on Tuesday. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye for now.